basically just tell them you are F1 status student, you are going to Chicago, Roosevelt University. That's the reason for your travel to the United States. Fund to pay for your stay. Basically, you show them the financial statement. Again, I wanted to just talk about that later, just now. Ensure the bank statement is the same one you use for your F1 visa interview. Do not change to a different bank statement and show it to the immigration officer. Okay, so make sure you do that. Intention to return home after completing academic activities. Sometimes they will ask you like, okay, what is your intention after you finish your study? And just tell them, I'm planning to go back to, to my home country to start a career, to work for companies, that kind of stuff. It's a very basic questions. So just be honest with them. If you are asked if you're asked to show your documents, show them your documents, but do not change any documents, especially the one that you use for your F1 visa interview. Lisa, next. The immigration officer will update, with your U.S. Department of Homeland Security records. So basically, when you enter the United States, they already record the day you enter the U.S. For example, you've entered August 19, it will be on the Homeland Security system, okay? And then your immigration status, whether you're F1, J1, or B1, B2, okay? So this will be automatically input into the system. And then the expiration date of this DS for F1, DS is basically to the end of your degree program. Also, ensure your passport statement includes all these three pieces of information. Okay, so make sure when you after you admit to the United States, make sure you go through your passport and make sure you have all these three things. And then you can also confirm. So once you enter the United States, this is a link here, I-94. You can go in there to retrieve your I-94, which is an evidence of you entered the United States. The I-94 will indicate your passport, your last name, first name, and stuff like that. Okay, so ensure you have all immigration documents when leaving the inspection area. This is a video from YouTube. This is from the USCIS border control, and it actually show you when you enter the United States, you follow the procedures, where to go, whether you are a U.S. citizen, you go to this line. If you are tourists, visitors, and all that, you will go to the other line. So follow the instruction here. After you enter the United States, as an international student, please fill out the form here. This is a SQR. This is a QR code. You can actually scan, and you can input all your information there. That way, Roosevelt University, the international office, the international student program office will exactly know that you are already in the US, so that they can report to the immigration that, hey, so-and-so already entered the United States. So you are clear with that, okay? So make sure as soon as you arrive in the United States, the following day, please scan the QR code and submit these documents, this information to Roosevelt University so that we can update your I-20 from initial status to active status so that you are legally in this country. Well, I guess this is the end, but again, if you have any questions, I will be in the main room later on and we can talk more about that. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Z-Tech. Yes, let's move on we're a little behind, so let's move quickly through the next few slides. I mentioned if that happens one more time, I know who is an admitted student and I'll just send a new Zoom link via email. So hopefully it won't, but if it does, that's the plan. Aaron, do you want to quickly cover living in Chicago? And then we'll talk a little bit about living also in the dorm.
Sure. So just like many of the students who had spoken to you said, Chicago is one of our largest cities. It's the third largest in the United States. Some specific facts about Chicago is that there are, quite a few beaches. We are along Lake Michigan. So there's a lot, especially our university is right next to the lake. We have over 7,000 restaurants, over 160 breweries, lots of places to go on your free time. We also have a lot of ethnic neighborhoods. There's a little India on the far north side. We're also home to the CCPA, which is our Center for Performing Arts. So auditorium theater right next to the school. So if there's any live shows, you are more than welcome to check those out. So Chicago does have a lot of amenities and things to offer for students that come here. And these are just some of the popular housing options that are off campus. A lot of our students like to live in Prairie Shores and Lake Meadows just because of their proximity to the loop. They're just about 10 minutes from campus. They're close to transit. We have a couple of stations at our Metro, which is our commuter rail, and then our CTA, which is our public transit. A lot of international students live here, so that you will find a community of people that are in a similar situation as you, so you can, work together, get study groups, have a community outside of campus as well. And the studio to 3 bedrooms are the options that you'll get at both of these, and prices are pretty competitive. I didn't have them on the slide, but if you have any questions about that, you can definitely reach out to one of us or one of the students that currently lives there, and you can get an idea of affordability, things like that.
Thanks, Aaron. So we have quite a few freshmen on this call, and graduate students can live on campus as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Corinne, who's going to talk a little bit about living in the dorms.
Hi, all. Good morning, and good afternoon or good evening. So my name is Corinne Martin. I serve as the Director of Office of Residence Life and University Housing. So our area, we oversee all of the housing that is on campus. So whether it's in the Wabash building or across the street over at the University Center. So we do have a range of options, which I'll be able to go through a little bit later. For our staff, we do have a hall director as well within the Wabash residence hall. And then across the street in the University Center, there's a whole different set of staff members that also work with students that come from Columbia College, Chicago, National Louis University, and blanking on the last one. But there's a couple, and DePaul. So there's a handful of universities that do utilize the University Center, but within the Wabash building, it is solely just Roosevelt University students. Okay, so there's going to be approximately 850 Roosevelt resident students that are going to be on campus. Within the last year, we were absolutely at full occupancy. So if you are interested in living on campus, we absolutely do suggest that you do submit that sooner rather than later. For our first year students and our second year students, there is a 2-year residency requirement that is required for all new incoming students. The only way that you are automatically exempt from living on campus is if you are 21 years of age or older. Or there is also, if you are transferring into the university with at least 30 credit hours. So here are some of the different styles that are over in the Wabash building. For the single bedroom suite, basically it is, you would have your own individual bedroom, and then you would share the common area, which is like a toilet room, a shower room, and then like a small little hallway with 3 other people who also have their own individual bedrooms themselves. And in the shared bedrooms, we do have 3 different styles. We have one where it's a double, one where it's a triple, so 3 people, and then one is a quad, which is 4 people. And then the prices do range depending on how many people are in the specific space themselves. At the University Center, there are 4 different styles that we have over there. So we have a 2-bedroom shared apartment and a 4-bedroom single apartment. So you can either be in an apartment style with either 2 people in one room or just by yourself in one room. The apartment style are where we have the kitchens as well. So if it ever says apartment, that means you have a kitchen in your space. The meal plan is not required. However, if you live in a suite style, which is on the next slide, we have 2 different types suite styles at the University Center, one being the quad semi-suite and one being a double deluxe. So the quad semi-suite is where there's 2 people in one room and you all share the bathroom. And then the double deluxe is where it's just 2 people. It's like a 2-person suite, basically. But the suite styles anywhere on campus is where there is no kitchen and where their meal plan is required, so that we can ensure that you are eating on campus. All right, and then here's a list of the different meal plans. For the Wabash students, everyone is assigned the standard meal plan, but you always have the option to upgrade to the deluxe meal plan. A lot of our athletic students will upgrade to the deluxe meal plan because they're having to do a lot of trainings and practice, and they get hungrier more frequently. Whereas at the University Center, we start at the basic level, but you could also upgrade to the standard meal plan. It's basically the same type. And then the apartment meal plan, that is selected by those that live in the apartment styles. If they're maybe wanting to have a couple nights where they're not having to cook for themselves, they can select into an apartment meal plan, and they'll have like a block of 150 meals throughout the entirety of the academic year to use. So like if they're wanting to go downstairs at the University Center to have a meal, they can do so. Okay, so the housing application has been open for a lengthy time already, since about mid-spring. So if you are needing to complete your housing application, or if you are interested in living on campus and would like to complete the application, it's all on the housing portal. You do have to be signed in as a Roosevelt University student with our single sign-on, and then it'll give you access to the housing portal. But simply for this current upcoming year, you're going to want to click on the button that says housing application and in parentheses academic year. That'll be the correct one. That'll be here for the fall and for the spring for incoming. If it doesn't appear at the top of your screen in that little menu bar, that just might mean that your screen is a little bit too thin, or if you're using a phone, you might not be able to see it at the top. So it would be in that top left-hand menu that kind of looks like a little hamburger. Okay, so there is a few steps in order to complete your housing application. One is you have to submit the $250 housing deposit, which goes towards your fall balance. And then the other is a $50 application fee. It's non-refundable, and it does go towards keeping up the housing software and like doing its yearly updates and everything. We do expect to be full again for this upcoming year. The numbers that we're seeing right now for the summer is we're getting pretty close. So we've already passed the 50% mark, and we're already close to about 70% occupied for the fall. So it's very imperative to where if you are a first-year student incoming and you need to live on campus, please complete that sooner rather than later. And then if you're a graduate or doctoral student wanting to live on campus, a lot of our grad students and doctoral students do live at the UC. So if you're wanting to make sure that you get a spot for yourself on campus, make sure that you do also complete that. Everything is a first come, first serve. And all of the students that have selected or have completed the housing application so far, they're actually selecting today and yesterday and then tomorrow. And they'll have like a week and a half to do their room selection. For those that are applying for housing in the month of June, you all will be able to select during the first and second week of July. We're just going to try to avoid the holiday. So most likely it'll start on either July 7th or July 8th. We do have a list of what to bring and definitely what not to bring on the website. So this is a great link to check in for just suggested items. In terms of items not to bring, please do not bring anything that is flammable, no candles, no incense. If for any reason that there is a reason to need candles for like religious purposes, you do just have to check in with either myself or the hall director in Wabash building, or with the University Center staff. So that way the candles can be, or incense can be used in a safe manner, and it will not set off the fire alarms. And then the staff member will just ensure that any candle usage for religious purposes has been completed before they depart the space. We do have a twin XL bed size in all of the rooms on campus. So whether at the Wabash or the UC, it's always a twin XL. And then you can always rent a mini fridge. This is very popular with our out-of-state students and our international students to rent a mini fridge. They will actually deliver the mini fridge to the Wabash building for you before you even arrive, and then they will pick it up after you depart. So it's very useful and handy that way you're not having to lug around a mini fridge, but you can still have the convenience of having a mini fridge within your space. Unfortunately, this is only available for those students that are in the Wabash building, as of course, we have like the apartment styles that are over at the UC. And then our fall move-in dates for this upcoming year, we are trying to avoid a giant conference that is hitting Chicago during the week of the 19th. So because of that, our freshmen and our new incoming students, our transfer students, their move-in day is going to be Friday, August 23rd. And then all of our returning students will be coming back on that Saturday and Sunday on the 24th and 25th. If for some reason you cannot arrive on that Friday, you can absolutely still come later. There's no need to like redo your time slot. You would just show up either on that Saturday or Sunday. And then here's our contact information. A lot of our information is all located either in the housing portal or the university housing website. So I definitely suggest students to take a look at the website. All of our prices are located online, all of the different styles. A lot of the frequently asked questions are located online. If you can't find your question or find an answer to your question, please feel free to email us.
Thank you, Corinne. So I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. Michelle will probably need to move a little quicker than we might have planned just because we're running behind, but we'll have the recording that we'll send out as well. So Michelle's going to talk a little bit about financial aid services and paying your bill. I can't hear Michelle.
Yes, because
Oh,
I
there.
was not
Okay.
allowed to unmute myself.
Oh, okay. The host probably muted it. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to FAS. My name is Michelle Hayes Sharon. I am the Director of Financial Aid Services. I'm going to go quickly through these slides. A lot of this information is available on our website. I will be in a breakout room after this presentation is over, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you have. The most frequently asked question is, how do I pay my bill? So bills will be posted on RU Access after registration is completed. You'll receive an email when your bill is ready to review. TouchNet, for those that have US bank accounts, is our payment gateway for students. So I suggest that you pay by listing your routing number and your account, or by an electronic check, because it is free. Otherwise, if you pay with a debit or credit card, they do charge a 2.85% convenience fee. You are authorized to add additional users to bill or to view your bill and also make payments on your behalf, but you have to add them as an authorized user. These are some of the examples of students that have requested parents, friends, family, or employers to have access to be able to see their bill to make a payment. Next slide, please. So finding your bill, you log into RU Access. There's the 4 bullets up at the top left-hand corner of the screen. You could select banner, and then registration and other services, tuition and fees, and then make my payment. Again, this is for students that have a US bank account. Next slide. So payment arrangements, we strongly encourage students to have their payment arrangements in place for the fall, July 31st. So typically, if students are signing up for a payment plan and you've registered for classes, that's when you can, again, view your bill. So the first bill would be available to pay would be June 30th. Then it's July 30th, August 30th, September 30th, October 30th. There's 5 payments. So the later that you sign up for that payment plan, there's a $45 charge. The larger the amount is to pay, because as time is exhausted, the number of payments reduce. So these are the dates that we encourage. So either you're signing up for a payment plan, you're paying your balance in full, or you're having some other means on how to do that. Typically a loan from your country, and you're working with somebody from that country to send the money to us. Okay. The next is payment options for those international students that don't have a US bank account. This is the information on where you would go to finance, to figure out how to pay your bill. And you can see that it's pointing to international students. Next slide. So you have your full payment options. They have a tutorial for Pay My Tuition video. They have the Pay My Tuition's rate guarantee and any frequently asked questions. Typically, Pay My Tuition is more comprehensive in no, you do not have to pay your tuition in full before entering the US. If you've registered for classes, that's when you can view your bill, okay? As far as with this, most of the time they are emailing you if they need additional information, because they're very comprehensive in verifying the identity of the person that's trying to make payment to the account and send money to the US. Okay. And then they even have step-by-step PDFs on how to make the payment. Next slide. Okay, so this is what it looks like as far as the screen. So you can set up what payment, what country you're paying from, how to make a payment. They have a very good help desk and a tutorial. They even have chat available. But this is for you, for your information, and all of this information is available on our website. Next slide. Another option is Flywire. So this is, okay. Another option is Flywire. And so this, I believe that they charge a little bit more, but you can also look and see this information. They also have FAQs and a tutorial at this link. Again, information is available on our website, okay? So here is your due dates. This is when July 31st is when we need to know when the tuition, how you're paying your tuition if it's not paid in full yet. Remember that some banks do limit the amounts that can be paid, and there are other events that may affect the payment process. Foreign exchange rates are determined by the vendors, not Roosevelt. And then just remember that online international payments are not time or day restricted. Payments can be made on your behalf where it says payer information. Please list your Roosevelt student ID so that we are making sure that your payment gets applied to your account. And then again, once you come here, I know that you have to establish residency. You may be able to open up a US dollar account with a local bank, but remember that that is based on their criteria. So you'll have to have a residency established, a permanent residence, in order to be able to do that, okay? Next slide. We communicate. Financial aid services communicates with you through your Roosevelt email. So it's very important that you all check your email on a regular basis. Bills notifications are sent to your email. Any documents that we may need from you from financial aid is sent to your Roosevelt email. We don't communicate with you any other way. So it's important that you communicate or are in constant checking of your email to make sure that you are not missing any information. Okay. And again, your bills can be viewed monthly on RU Access once you've registered for classes. Then you'll be able to see your bill. And I think the next slide shows us how you can communicate with us. FAS@roosevelt.edu is our email address. Please, when you are emailing us, list your student ID number so that we can help you. If otherwise it's delaying because there's back and forth looking for that student ID number, okay? Otherwise, welcome to Roosevelt. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the presentation, and don't forget that there will be breakout rooms afterwards, and I'll be in one of them. So hopefully I'll be able to answer any additional questions that you have.
Thanks, Michelle. That was very helpful. I see some questions about registration in the chat, and I'll just quickly say once your visa approved, we will start registrations next week. So we have that information through CVIS, and we'll be reaching out to you. I'm going to hand it over to Nancy, who is our last presenter in the main session. And then like I mentioned, some of us will stay on for general questions about visas and those types of things, while others will move into the breakout rooms by college and program to talk to advisors and faculty. So over to you, Nancy.
Hello, everyone. Nancy and Kurtzia here. I serve as the Director for Career Services. Next slide, please. So I just want to share a couple of the resources and services that we offer through our office. So in Career Services, of course, we advise with anything and everything having to do with your careers. So this includes resume and cover letter reviews. If you've never had a resume or a cover letter, we help you develop one. If you're looking for a career or industry research or just different job titles or job information, we also assist with that. interview preparation, networking skills. We host a lot of events in our office or through our office, such as career events, career chats, panel discussions, and we collaborate with a lot of different departments and organizations on campus as it relates to careers. So if you're looking for the one-stop shop with anything having to do with careers, we are your go-to. Also through our office, we student employment is housed within our office. So if you're looking for a job on campus, that would be through our office. Of course, there is a process before you are able to work on campus. And so we will be able to share more details with you about that. Additionally, we also have our career closet through our office. So if you're looking for any type of professional clothing for an interview or for a job fair or for just, helping with boosting your confidence when it's time to meet with employers, we have that and it's free of charge to you. A lot of the clothes that we have are brand new with tags still on them. So definitely when you get on campus, take advantage of that opportunity, of those options. And then we also have our professional mentoring program through our office. And so this is where you're paired with industry professionals. A lot of them also are alums of Roosevelt University. So you get that one-on-one connection to discuss your aspirations with other folks that have been in your shoes and that are currently in the professional world. Next slide, please. So yes, this is a big one, Handshake. So as you may have seen earlier, Handshake is our platform, our go-to platform for all things careers. So if you're looking to schedule a meeting to meet with a career advisor through our office, you must go through Handshake. If you are looking for a job on campus, you must go through Handshake and apply for the jobs that you feel that are of interest to you or that you are eligible for. Also, if you wanted to RSVP to any career-related events happening on campus, off campus, Handshake is your go-to. So the nice thing is every single one of you will have an actual Handshake account. The thing that we need you to do is activate your Handshake account. So you have to use your Roosevelt email to do everything. We only communicate through Roosevelt email. So no Gmail accounts, no outside no outside emails. Everything has to go through Roosevelt. So if you need assistance with activating your account, we are also here to help you with that. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that. So next slide, please. There we go. Recent employers. So these are a couple of our employer partners that currently hire from Roosevelt. So we have a partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield, BMO Harris Bank, the Hilton Hotels, CME Group, and so much more. So definitely when you get on campus, don't be afraid to stop in our office. We are here to help, assist, and with your whole career trajectory. If you want to just talk, if you want to look over your resume, we have really, really great advisors here that are willing to help you and that want to help you. So please make it a point to stop in our office. Next slide. I believe, yes, and this is where you can find us. This is our information. You can find us on LinkedIn. We have our LinkedIn group. We're Roosevelt Connect on LinkedIn. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And our handle is at RU Career. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nancy. Most of you have already paid your admission deposit, which is great. Once we have all of your materials and you've paid your admission deposit is when we issue the I-20. I think most of you are in that place at this point and probably waiting for your visa interview. You will see in your application portal the request for immunization records and transcripts. We realize some of you might be bringing that to orientation in August. It would be great if you could submit those in advance. You can submit your transcripts, electronic transcripts, and I'm talking official. I know we have your unofficial transcripts, but we will need to have your official transcripts before you start class. So if you can submit it online, that would be great. It would make things move quicker. If not, you must bring your official transcripts and your immunization records to orientation in August and submit them at orientation. And we are going to talk a little bit about new student orientation in a minute. Let's go to the next slide. So I want to introduce Emily Elliott Maisel. She is the director of the Office of International Programs. Is Emily on here? Okay, well, I will tell you about Emily. Oh, there you are. I was going to introduce you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I will be very brief. I want to echo what Sarah and what the other international students said and what Ed said earlier. To welcome you all to Roosevelt. We're thrilled to have you. Roosevelt is a global university. We're in the middle of Chicago, which is a global city, and you are an important piece of that. As Sarah mentioned, I'm the director of the international programs here at Roosevelt University, and this is part of student affairs. So you heard from student affairs about residence life and career services, and international programs is part of that. So we will first meet when you come for new student orientation, which will take place either on August 7th or August 19th. The next slide actually will have a QR code where you can register for orientation. Here we go. So please make sure that you come to orientation. It's mandatory, like Z-Tech mentioned. We need to make sure that your status is correct, so you go from an initial status to active. And the best way to do that is for you to attend orientation and for you to complete the international student check-in that he also had linked previously. So orientation will be a fantastic day-long event. Where you'll get to meet other parts of the student affairs organization. You'll hear more about your visa status and how to remain in compliance with your status, and you'll also meet your academic community. So we're really looking forward to those sessions. I'm looking forward to meeting you all, and thank you so much for attending.
Thanks so much, Emily. So that is the conclusion of our main presentation.